Okay, well, welcome back to the next video here. I really don't know. I'll just say right now, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing in this video. That first video, I had a pretty good idea of everything that I wanted to cover in it, but every video from here on out probably going to bounce around a lot. It certainly won't be as straightforward as that one happened to be. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would. But in this video, we are going to actually start working on the game that I would like to put together here. I've got a small design document thrown together that I'm continuing to expand. It's a work in progress, of course, and as we go through this process, I'll probably be typing up notes. You'll see me jump over here, and I'll explain some of my thought process and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going to record everything that I do while making this game, but there's probably going to be some decently long videos where I just record myself doing things here. Again, this series isn't really for entertainment. It's not really to teach you how to use anything like this. It's mostly for me, because I think it might be fun to kind of document this, and if anybody else does want to see how it works out. You know, how it changes, because I think it'll be interesting, hopefully, to see the improvement over the course of this series. But who knows, I might not improve. You never know. But yeah, I'll be getting back to this at some other point. The design document, the way I've got it set up now, I don't have the battle system or the music described or anything like that. I pretty much just have a story overview, which is right there, and then starting to plot out and script out how the game is going to go through. One thing I want to try and avoid, and you can see right here I've got a ton of dialogue. One of the things I'm going to be trying to do as we go through here is actually cut down on the dialogue. A lot of my favorite RPGs from the past, like say Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Earthbound, they didn't have a ton of dialogue. They didn't throw 5 minutes of dialogue at you and just expect you to read through it all. The dialogue that they have it's short, it's to the point, and you don't have to slog through it most of the time, which is not what every RPG does. Some RPGs, they just completely drown you out in dialogue so that by the time you're done with the conversation, at least for me, I don't even remember what the conversation was really about, because it's drawn on for so long that none of the dialogue in there even mattered. And if there was something important, it was drowned out in a whole bunch of worthless drivel that didn't matter. So one of the things I'll be doing is trimming all of this down, hopefully to just the important stuff. Because I'm not writing a novel here. I don't want people to sit through a novel. I do want things to try to flow together and make sense, though. So yeah, we'll be getting to that at some point. Characters, I don't have them fleshed out really at all. I have a basic idea for who they are and what they're doing here, and what their special abilities are, things like that. And all those will be getting fleshed out and changed, I'm sure, as I get better with the tools here. Let's go ahead and just create a new project. The folder name is going to be Atlantis. The game title, for now, can just be Atlantis. And let's see, I guess the first thing that we should cover here is the resource manager, because I'm not going to be using the default tile set for this program. I did spend a significant amount of time finding usable tile sets and objects and documenting where I found them. So in the video description down here, hopefully, as long as I can paste this much stuff into the description, there should be a list of all of the resources that I have found and are using up to this point. It's a lot of them. If you see a tile that you like, don't bother asking me who made it, though, because I don't know who made each individual tile. You can just go through my resources down there on your own and see who made it. But most of the tiles I should have the copyright terms, because every artist who has made the tiles, they all have their own little terms of service, I guess, for their tile sets. Most of them, in fact, I'd say 99%, of all of the resources put out for this are non-commercial use only, with credits and attributions. So you can use them, but don't be selling them, which makes perfect sense. I agree with that. You don't want to be taking somebody else's hard work and making a bunch of money off of it. Well, they don't make anything at all. So let's go ahead and change our tile set here. That's what the resource manager here is for. I'm still not very good at this. I don't know where all of the resources that I'm going to be using actually go, but one of the things I know we want to import are the tile sets. So you can see these are the tile sets we start with. There are various types of tile sets, A1, 2, there should be an A3, an A4, and 5. We're just going to go ahead and import a bunch of stuff. Let's see, I need to go to the desktop. That's where I'm keeping all of my stuff at. Yeah, my little design folder here, it'll house all of the art resources that I'm using, the music, my design documents, it'll all be kept there. And my tile sets folder. So you can see I've got multiple folders here: antique interiors, chibi size tiles, exterior wood sets, a sci-fi set, which is nice. So let's go ahead and now, I don't need to import these. The only things I want to be importing under tile sets are tiles. So tile A2, A4, A5, B, C. We'll go ahead and import those. I believe that the animated doors and things like this, I think you have to import them somewhere else. You have to be careful, I think. You won't break anything, but they won't end up in the right place. Now, whenever you try to import a tile set, it'll say transparent color and translucent color. We don't have to worry about the translucent color for the most part. However, the transparent color is this color right here. And it's different for every tile set. We want to left click on it and it'll automatically select that color. And what that does is it makes this color completely disappear when you're placing your tile set. It turns it invisible, I believe. That way it doesn't show up. If you don't change it, you'll have strange patches of color around your tiles, which are not good. See, we'll pick this one, get rid of that stuff, get rid of that. We can leave the black. We need that. Now, this is another thing I'm not sure on this tile set. I'm going to leave this right here. I maybe should make it translucent. I'm not sure what that means, but at the same time, well, I know what translucent means, but I don't know what these tiles are here for. I don't know what the color was left like this on. It's obvious that it's not supposed to be transparent. So I'm not sure what the tile set creator had in mind whenever he left those colors there, but I'm actually just going to leave them as they are for now. And if I do end up using any of this wood, then we'll just have to deal with it, or we can come back and change it too. It's easy to change these things if you get the transparency and translucent colors wrong. You just re-import them and try again. So yeah, we'll change that, click that, and there we go. That's those tiles, but I'm not done yet. Still have all of these tiles here. So I'm just going to select all of those and import them here. And here we go. This one has a different transparent color. It's got a pink background, so we'll use that. This one doesn't have any transparency. Actually, maybe the white there. I'll click on that. Anything that has extra, any huge gaps of space, that's what I'll make transparent. There we go, some more white. These are the animated tiles. So we've got fire, we've got pools of water, glistening metal walls here. Maybe some type of water leak, perhaps. This, we don't have to worry about the black spots here. I don't think. You could probably make them transparent, but we'll just leave the blackness there for now. Like, you could, I guess if you wanted to place a parallax floor underneath this, say you wanted these to be a gaping hole that led to space, and you had a parallax clouds or stars underneath your tile set, you could make this centerpiece disappear and you would be able to see through the tile. But we're just going to leave it like it is. This set, let's see. This set doesn't have anything. And there we go. All of those tiles are in. The other thing I need to import here is one of the faces. Slaxer has been generous enough to volunteer to do the character faces for me. So all of the character designs that you'll be seeing in the menus and in the dialogue, he'll be doing all of the faces, I believe. So we'll just import that. Characters, I don't have any... actually, I think I do have some characters to import. Let's see. Where did I put those? Sprites? Yeah, we got a chef, a couple other people here. Robo-Maid, templates, and evil monsters, some flying shit and spiders. I'm going to go ahead and import all of those. There we go. That's the transparent color right there. This stuff is the transparent color. And don't ever just go by visual. If you think that this is the same color as the last tile set, just be sure and click on it. Don't just assume, because it could be one hue off. Not going to be using these character sprites, even though this is... I guess we could have some creepy-ass babies crawling around. That would be weird. Yeah, I'm not going to use these because I don't have any clothes for them. I don't have any accessories for them. Again, the default characters that come with the game, simply because they're easier to use and I've got the most accessories for them. That's what I'll be using. Okay, so that's all the character sprites imported. Now I've got battlers. These are monsters that we're going to be importing. And I have monsters here. You can see the monsters there. I'm going to have a lot more than this because I think Dion has also volunteered to draw some monsters for the game. And the monsters are not chibi at all, which is fine because they should be their own style apart from the characters, or apart at least from the character sprites, the chibi sprites. Battle backgrounds. I don't know if I have any battle backgrounds yet. Actually, maybe I do. Let's see. Change the views here. We've got that. These backgrounds here are not for the game. Actually, that one could be. Or they're not for the battles, anyways. I imported those for another reason. We'll get that one. These ones. And there we go. If you don't know how to select individual files like this, you hold Control and then left click on something, and that way you can select multiple files at once. If you hold Shift, you'll select all of the files in between your target on your mouse. You should probably know that by now, though. I mean, that's pretty basic computer stuff, so I shouldn't have to explain any of that to you guys. So we'll just open all of those. There we go. Now, animations, that is animations for combat. I don't have any additional ones for those yet. And parallax. I do have one additional parallax, a temple, to import right here. Don't know if I'm going to have a use for it or not, but, you know, I probably should have been paying attention, but I'm going to import it anyways. I didn't really want to be importing all of that stuff with the transparency options I had. That could cause problems. If any of those sprites that I imported had that one little dab of color in them, they could have a transparent sector on them now. Let's hope not. Titles, let's see, actually, import here. This is what these were for, right here. These were for the title screen, because I don't know what we're going to have for the title screen just yet. We'll leave this. Audio, I do have some audio to import. Let's see, and I hope to have some movies to import too for cutscenes and things like that at some point. For special cutscenes. Most of the cutscenes that I'll be doing in-game will actually be done with the event handler and the in-game graphics, and will only very rarely have special movies imported. But, where am I keeping my songs at here? Is it under My Music? Album 1? There we go. Just a bunch of tracks, basically, of me goofing around on the guitar. Nothing special, but they could add a little bit of ambience to some areas in the game. And I'll probably have a lot more of these by the time I'm done, because I've been fooling around with my effects pedal, trying to come up with something that sounds sufficiently spacey and creepy and ambient, and I might actually be able to accomplish my goals there. Okay, so we've got all of the stuff imported there through the resource manager. However, we're not done. In order to update the tile set over here, we need to go to the database. And we need to go to Tilesets up here. And this is the tile sets that the game has. Field, exterior, interior, dungeon. However, we want to change the maximum here. We're going to change this, you know what, let's change it to about 7. We're going to add 3 more additional tile sets here. And this is going to be Sci-Fi 1. We'll leave the mode on area type. Let's see, what's the difference? Sets the behavior of terrain tiles. Let's see, field is applied to field sets. It doesn't help. Area is applied to other sets. Well, we're not going to be in the field. And for more information, see the resource standards. Well, I might have to check that out at some point. So, the first thing we want to do over here is find an A1 tile. That's the animation tiles. Now, you can see I've got a few A1 tiles here. This A1 tile is like swamp water. We really shouldn't have any of that where we're going to be, but we might. But for now, I want these tiles. This is the sci-fi tiles that I chose. You can see the walls. I'm not sure. Looks like they're a little bit beat up, perhaps. And these pools of water are animated, and the flames here are animated. So that'll be our animation tiles. And you can see it places them up here. And now we need to find A2. Now this is another outdoorsy tile set. Not really going to be that much use to me right now. So we will grab these instead, because this is sufficiently sci-fi for me. So there we go, and it places those down there. And A3, let's see, I do have an A3, here we go, some more sci-fi stuff. I'll explain what the X's and circles mean here in a bit, if you're curious. A4 is walls. Let's see, these walls are actually fairly nice. This is one thing I was having problems with. I really like these walls here. I like the way they're set up. This is also another good selection of walls. I like those. However, this is also a vast selection of walls that could come in quite useful. I think for now I'm going to keep the same theme I've got going. I'm going to use these same tiles here, the Z18 tiles. Hang on, I gotta see whose tiles these are in the resources. I just want to know. I think these are all from Zero Plumber right here. So yeah, this is going to basically be Zero Plumber's sci-fi set. I did a lot of searching for sci-fi tiles and objects, and there's a decent amount out there, but not all of them look the same. I mean, if you're going to be using tile sets, they all have to have the same look going on. You can't just mishmash things that don't match. And A5, let's see, what's this A5? That's a remix of the default tiles, it looks like, and this one, here we go. A little bit grungy. We've got some interesting computer screens, maybe grills and grates, worn down stuff, damaged floor tiles. So there we go. Now we've got those. Now we need B, C, D, and E tiles, which I should have plenty of as well. So here's one set, futuristic tile. This is an E or a B, I think that is what that means. And what else do we have? Here's an E. You can see this is kind of more modern. I probably won't have much use for any of these just yet. This is an A4 rework. Yeah, I don't need that. This is an E. I do like this. You got various wires and fuse boxes, it looks like. Some type of damaged, what is that, cryopods maybe? A nice computer terminal here. Another real nice one. You know, I think, wait, where's B? I need to find a B tile set first. Here we go. B and B. Okay, I don't need to worry about that one. This is the one that we'll use for now. This has various shadows that we can use, pipes, crates, decorations for the walls like fungus and mold and mildew growing on it. So for now, I think that is probably my best bet. Custom doors, that's interesting. I don't know where I would put that actually. And a C tile. Let's see. See, this isn't really sci-fi. If I added this tile set, it wouldn't really blend in theme-wise. However, this C tile set here. We've got various computer screens down here. Yeah. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it yet, it is not really storming here. I just have rainy mood on. It helps me whenever I'm trying to concentrate here, to have rainy mood in the background and not, Led Zeppelin screaming in my ear or something like that. So, I think we'll use this one. It does have a little bit of overgrowth in it, as well as a few other interesting tiles that I hopefully will be able to put to good use. The worst thing is having, a whole bunch of tiles, but not having the ability yourself to put them to use. It's torturous. So here's some D tiles. We've got guns, various gun racks, some futuristic pipes and overlay looking things, various religious items. That's kind of interesting, but do I have another D set anywhere? I may not. Tile set Z, no. CPU 3, set 3, no. See, I do like this set, though. If I haven't already used this, I don't think I have. Got various computers, some vending machines. See, I believe I could use that if I don't like the other D set. Here's a D set. It's kind of nice, too. It's got more guns, which there will be guns in this game. It's not going to be a medieval setting, obviously. Let's see, this D1, it's got even... might just be a reworking. I don't really know what the difference is, dang it. I don't think I have to agonize too much over this, because I can just add one of these tile sets to another pack over there. Like, this one wouldn't be that useful to me, because I don't think I'd have a use for all of those crystals and everything, even though I might. Atlantis should probably have some crystals. Oh yeah, and if you haven't figured it out by now, if you don't want spoilers for the game, you probably should stop watching. If you just want to play the game on your own whenever it does come out, whenever it's released, quit watching, because this is going to obviously spoil everything. I don't really know what I should choose here. Again, I do like this one. It's got another interesting computer, multiple vending machine things, some busted computer panels there. I think I'm going to add this one, though. We'll use that there. And E. Let's see. I don't really want a jukebox. Or advertisements to some cinema, it looks like. Of course, this set doesn't really do me a whole lot of good either. Various vents and things like that popping up. Do I have any more E-tiles? Here we go. Actually, this is the one I want here. This has more cryopods in it. Various computer terminals here. Pipes and vents, things like that. I don't really know what these reliefs are for, but maybe we could find a use for it. And there we go. So now we've got our entire tile set up here. Every spot is actually used, which I find amazing. And one of the things that we're going to be doing continually as we go through here and check is checking out these X's and O's. If there's an O, it means the player can walk through it. It's not solid. An X means it's a wall. It will stop the player. They can't move through it. And you can change it just by clicking on it. And If you change it here, it changes all of the tiles throughout the game. So if you've already built a very large area, you don't have to go through and reset every tile. It does it automatically. Passage, I haven't actually got a whole lot of use for this, even though I guess it could make it, obviously, so that the character could only go down or right from here. That probably, I don't see myself getting a whole lot of use out of that yet. As this series goes on, hopefully I will advance to the point where even little minute details like this become easily apparent to me that I can use them somehow. For now, though, I don't know why I would want to block passageway through a tile a certain direction. Unless I was setting up a maze or something. Ladders, don't really know what that does. Let's see. Sets the character is looking upward when on this tile. Okay. So if they step onto that tile, they will look to the top of the screen. That way whenever they move, it looks like they're climbing up and down. Some flare there. Bush, that'll hide the lower part of your character. It'll make it a little bit translucent. Counter, I don't really know what that is good for either. Let's see, enables a tile to start an event that is not directly next to it. Again, that's probably maybe another setting that will become apparent to me over time as to how I can use it and abuse it. Damage floor tiles. I will be using those. I already have several ideas for damage floor tiles. If you haven't guessed it already, Atlantis is a space colony. And one of the things I'm going to use for damage floor tiles is parts of the colony that have been exposed to space. If the team doesn't have, say, a spacesuit on, hopefully I can figure out how to do that. If they don't have a spacesuit on, they will take damage while in that area. It'll make it extremely hazardous to them to try and go through it until they get a little bit of safety. And terrain tag. Again, this has a use. It's just no specific uses are defined, but if you use the get location info command whenever you're setting up an event, I guess you can do something with it. It's not that useful to me at this time. Now, one of the things we want to check with the passage here is which items the character can actually walk through. I don't want them walking through pipes at all. Pipes should be solid. If I do use the pipes, I want them to block player movement. However, we can also set it up, click on it again, and the star means that the character will pass behind it. If it's a circle, the character will pass in front of it. However, you can set it up like this, and now the character could move underneath it. In fact, maybe we should actually do that on this piece here. And on that piece, the character can move through it. On that piece, they can. I guess they could do it here, too. But on the parts where it dips down to the ground, the character obviously cannot walk through there. Same way on here. They can walk underneath it on that one, They can walk underneath that. They can walk underneath that. That. Not getting through that, though. Walk underneath that. And does that one dip down to the ground? Or is that one... That one dips into the wall, I think. We'll say they can walk underneath that one, too. That'll be a pipe in the ceiling or something. And I can change that if I don't like it, of course. So on the C tab, like all of these should be set up to be solid walls. And you have to do this manually whenever you import tile sets, because you're just importing a graphic. It doesn't come with any data that tells the game to make it a solid. And you have to do it. I could wait until I start building the levels and testing things, but I just get it done now. That way I don't forget. Because I may miss something while playtesting the game anyways. I may see it's a wall and not try to walk through it, but the player won't. They might see it and just go for it. Computer screens, these doors I will leave passable. Grills, actually, the grills probably should be passable, because if I'm going to use them, they're going to be on the floor. All of these are not going to be passable, unless I place them on the floor too. These vents could be on the floor. This is passable. These guardrails should probably be fairly solid. Yeah, I'm gonna wall all that in for now. Again, I can come back and change it later. That can stay. Let's see, floors, pipes and things, more vents. I think that this is a solid block. We'll block that off. They can walk through vines and stuff down there. I don't know what this is. Can't tell. Might be another vent or something. Okay, here's a whole bunch of stuff. Vending machines and computers here. If the object is big enough, and depending on how it looks when you place it, you may want to leave the bottom blocked off, but then make the top so that the character passes behind it. That way the item looks like it's actually standing up whenever they start moving around. Like these bookcases, we could make it so that the player walks behind it whenever they're placed up, but they can't walk through the bottom, which is what I think I'll do. Except for these things, I don't know what they are. We're going to make them solid. Block that off. Put that up. And I might actually test some of these out at some point. I'm not sure yet. The player can walk behind this here because this is a curtain. Actually, the player can walk behind all of that because that's a curtain. But this top part of this drape thing, that's solid. The player... Actually, I'll have to test this out in game 2. So I'm not sure how it'll look. But this part, they can walk behind. I was going to say, it doesn't... This might be a doorway where I could have the player walk through there, and then I would need at least this middle piece to be a pass-behind item as well. Let's see, computers, pass behind those, block that. Yeah, the player can pass through that. Tables, players should not be able to walk on or under. These things, there we go. Block off all of these paintings. They should be on a wall. And if you're not careful whenever you're placing an object on a wall, I believe it can override and make it so that the player can pass through it if you're not careful. So yeah, I'll just mark all these up. Yeah, you guys are, if you're going to actually be following along, you're going to be seeing a lot of kind of repetitive, boring things like this if you don't like it. I'm not going to cut out too much of this stuff once I actually get started on it. Unless I've done it a dozen times before. Okay, pass behind those. Tons of stuff on this set. And again, if you want to know where these tiles are, or who made them, just check out the links down below. I've tried to make it as easy as possible. That way you don't have to dig through Google. Because I link directly to the thread that I got the files from, as well as to the file itself. That it should be linked in the thread. Tried to provide all the information I could. The trees here, you can walk behind that. Walk behind this tree. Looks like a massive plant there. Nice little decoration. Some of these are quite detailed, actually, more than I thought they would be. Whenever I was looking at them, anyways. So there we go. This page is pretty much done. All of this space is just empty blank space. Don't gotta worry about it. And the final page here. These pipes should be solid. The computers should, solid. Put X's on them. Windows. Yeah, make those solid. Okay. Cabinets, they can walk behind. Table solid. What do we have here? I think that's a... Actually... No. Don't want to mess with that. So that's a shelf that goes on the wall. Okay, the top of these cryo tubes the character can walk behind. And... No, I guess for now we'll leave the middle part blocked off as well, so they can just walk behind the top part here. I'll have to check that out in game. This whole computer terminal should be solid. These pipes are solid. Signs. all of this stuff. Fancy OSHA approved guardrails here. There we go. I don't know what these are. I'll have to place them on a tile in-game and check them out. Hey, wait a second. These stairs should probably make passable, as well as that. There we go. Gonna be running into that a couple times where I've made something passable or unpassable whenever it shouldn't be. And I think for now that will be fine. Block that. Block that. That looks like a wall block. Actually, some of these I don't really know about. Let's see, block that. Don't go behind that. I guess I'll block the bottom of this chair so that the player can't sit in it. Again, that might be something I adjust later on. And there we go. 36 minutes into the video, we finally have our first tile set up. Oh, wonderful. So we'll click OK, and on this first map, let's go ahead and change it. This is going to be... now, one thing on the game design that I haven't figured out yet, but I'm thinking about, is the world map. The player is not going to see the world map for quite some time. Because the player is going to start out, the way I've got it figured out, they're going to start out in a cryo tube, in a cryopod, whatever you want to call it, and they're going to be fairly deep in the colony, and it's not going to be safe to actually go out on the surface yet. In fact, I may have the world map only be accessible if the player gets a spacesuit, because it could be too damaged. I'm still not sure about that. Several things I need to work out, even to see if I can do it. But I'll call this the colony surface for now. There we go, and its tile set. I probably need to make a custom tile set for this place as well. For now, we're just gonna have it sci-fi, and it's gonna be decently large, 50 by 50, and it does not scroll because they're gonna be on an island, a colony floating through space. So if they leave the map, it's not going to loop back around to the colony. They're going to drift off into space away forever. So we'll just cancel that right now and say no. For the background here, where is it? We're going to have a starlit sky. As the story advances, I may set up triggers that will switch the starlit sky to a background of the planet. Something like that. That way the background might look like it's changing as they move along. The battle background, no, we'll just let that pick up. Don't really need to worry about the music here just yet. I will disable dashing. Don't need to worry about the encounters yet. And there we go. So, even though I'm not going to be designing the world map just yet. Let's see. Actually, let's put... Where's that background at? Okay, yeah, let's show that in the editor too. And we're going to loop it. Auto scroll speed. I don't really know what the difference is in speeds here, but we'll put that at 2. There we go. Pretty fancy looking. And in the middle here, we'll have the space colony. Whenever I decide to design it, it'll probably be fairly large. Depending. I still don't know yet. The next thing we want to make is a new map. And this is going to be the cryo room. Again, I don't know what you would call it. Cryopod room. I probably will refine the name later on. Cryo room. Yeah, for now. In fact, cryo room. And yeah, we'll just leave it like that. It can be a 20, actually, yeah, 20 by 20 is fine. It doesn't scroll either. It doesn't have a parallax background. I do, however, want to change the background music for it. And this is where some of my music's going to come in, because the music for the game, it's... The music that came with the editor, it just doesn't lend itself very well to a sci-fi game. It is all too upbeat. It's far too happy. It's... I hate saying it, but it is just... It's cheesy. It's good music, but it's the type of adventure that just screams cheese. Like, I'm hoping that by the time I'm done with this adventure, it feels kind of serious, even though I'm going to be using anime chibi sprites and it's a Japanese RPG style game. I'm hoping it's a little bit more serious than some of this music would have you believe. So let's see. I'm going to turn this down. I want to see how loud it is. Rainy mood. You're going to have to quiet down just for a moment here. I'll crank this back up, and let's see. I'm going to crank the pitch down too on some of these. So let's see. No, I don't think I liked that song at all. Should probably delete it. Need a song for a cryopod. A cryo room where somebody's just waking up for the first time. In maybe a few hundred years, however long this journey has taken. That's kind of creepy sounding, actually. The low drone of a space colony ship as it moves through space is kind of the sound that I want the soundtrack to take. It should constantly have a heavy, kind of mechanical hum in the background that lets you know you are living in the belly of a beast of a machine. No. I'm not sure what this one will be used for. Obviously for some mysterious event, which is why I've got the word mystery in it. So, what about this one? Take this all the way down pitch-wise. That might actually work. What about this one? I have to slow all of my songs down because if I slow them down, they don't sound so much like somebody picking away at strings on a guitar. However, that one might be slowed down too much. Might be too quiet, too. What about this one? I think we'll use this one for now. Just leave the pitch like that. I may have to adjust the volume on them, make sure that they come out a little bit louder. Dashing will be fine. We don't need a background here. I'm not going to worry about encounters just yet. And let's spawn the cryo room here. So let's see, what should we start off as? What should we start off with? I should probably change the tile set to sci-fi, and we can stop this music and go back to rainy mood. Yeah, rainy mood is pretty dang loud. There we go. So, what should we use as a floor in here? We'll just throw up a quick kind of mock-up of the room and then go from there. How does this look as a floor? That actually might look better as a wall. But I don't think it is. What is this? One of the things I'm still not very good with yet is the tile set. I don't have a very good grasp on the perspectives used and how to manipulate the perspective. Like, see that this stuff does, it really looks like a wall, especially the way it changes whenever I place a floor. So let's see. Throw together a quick shape here. I have been testing out some things, so I have kind of an idea in mind for how I want this room to look. Let's see, bring this out. This right here. This a little bit wider. And I think that's a fairly decent layout for the floor. What I need now, I need a wall. Are you a wall? Yeah, it is. It doesn't connect like I want it to. Yeah, that doesn't look right. What about what do I have under B? That's where my walls are, right? No? C maybe? There was one wall that I really liked. Dang it. I don't think I chose it in this tile set, though. I think it was the tile set that I skipped over. And maybe I shouldn't have. Let's check something real quick. Resource, no. Database, tile sets, where is it? A1, A2. It was A4. There's 4, right? Yeah. Okay, so these are the walls that this tile set provides. Man. See, I like those walls because there's so many of them. At the same time, where's the other set? At the same time, I really liked how these walls looked. And I do like these tiles too. But my main concern here is that there's not a very large variety of walls here. Here, let's use that for now, though. Just going to check that out. And yeah, that removed all of that spot. But it gives me this wall here. Actually, this one. Let's see. This isn't the one I like, but bring that together. Beef it up just a bit. And I think it should be 2 high, maybe 3 high. Let's see. We'll run the wall along like that. Yeah, see, it needs to be a little bit higher than that. So, actually, hang on. Block that out. And there we go. And then I do want to... I'm not very good with the mouse, dang it. Let's just cut all of that out, and then should be like that, right? Or maybe I should make it 1 level higher here, actually. Let's see, bring this down here. Actually, 1, 2, 3. I think I should make this 1 higher. Block all that out. Should be 3 levels high, right? That's 4. I'll get better, maybe. Perhaps. That looks a little bit better, but at the same time, this looks like crap right here. Cut that out, cut that out. This wall here... down right here, we'll have a doorway right there. Bring that wall up. Actually, bring this down. Try to give it a little bit of depth somehow. And make it look like a cutaway. perhaps, here. That's why this wall is a little bit lower. Or would it look better if the cutaway is all the way on the floor there? Decisions, decisions, decisions. I still don't like this setup right here. Why is this so crap? What is this? How do I get rid of this? Can I do that? No, because see, then that drops the whole wall down. I actually don't mind that, but this still looks wrong to me. That looks even worse. What is it actually doing? Hang on. What if I put... No. I say, what if I could run a wall up here? Cause see, I need another seam. I think right here. I've screwed something up. Maybe I need to have that. No. I might just leave it like this for now. And kind of try to figure it out as I go along later. I really don't even need this thing right here. I just don't want to have a boring, straight, square room. You know what? Let's go ahead and save this, and I'm going to look at my other project right now. Primarily because I've spent a lot more time on it. And I have a better idea on that one of how it should look. That's the one I've been this is the map I've been testing pretty much everything on. Where is it? There we go. It's under the lab break test, under game. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to copy this room here. How did I do that? I think it's because I've got fluff here that you can't see it. This is the room layout that I'm going for. I like this. So it's 3 high here, and then 3 high, yeah. It's almost the exact same layout. I've got it. What did I do here? Bring that to 3 down. You gotta make sure that these are on the same level as they end there. I think it's just gonna have to look weird, is what it's gonna have to do. For the time. Wait a second. This is 1, 2, 3. I want to check that one more time. And that is 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, you got me, game. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, this is wrong. This wall should be 3 high, because this is 1, 2, 3, and then the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, and then the ceiling. This is 1, 2, and then the ceiling. That's something I'm going to have problems with through the whole thing. This is 1, 2, 3 ceiling, so... As much as I dislike how this looks because of this seam here, I don't have much of a choice for now. But I think we're actually going to break this back wall up with additional detail. So, let's see, what should we add there? I like having, you know, a little stray wire thing there, just for now. Could have code red. That doesn't fit there. We'll find some place for this. Everything is okay. Dead computer screens. Actually, where are those shelves at? Here, shelfy, shelfy, shelfy. Here we go. I did like the look of those. So that's in the wall. It can't go there. That is... Is that pressed up against the wall? You can see that's in the wall, so it's in the corner. There we go. Yeah, we'll have 4 there. These cryopods, there we go. Have 4 of those. I think we'll only have 4 cryopods in here to go with the 4 shelves there. We'll have a little control terminal. Obviously this controls the cryo tubes, the cryopods. However, I don't want it to block movement too much, so we'll have this decent open area here And let me fix this real quick. Okay. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And also, I need to bring that up. Put this right there. And now you can see it even overlays the cryopods just a bit. Yeah, and that'll be the entrance there. So that'll work. Also, this little electrical box. Actually, let's put that... Yeah, it can go... Well... Put that up in the corner there, instead of on the edge. Some miscellaneous wires, perhaps. Now these seams here, these are good for breaking up the monotony in your walls, so they don't all look exactly the same. Surely you can already tell what it's doing. I don't know how much YouTube will butcher the quality on this, but it does break it up just a little bit. This thing, I don't know what that would be good for yet. What else do we have around here? Oh, yeah, this little power pipe, I do kind of like that going there. Could run pipes into the lockers for some reason. I don't know why I would do that. I do like having that right here, though. I don't know why. It does kind of look bad, but let's give it a little bit more shadow here. There we go. That looks better in my opinion. What else do we have here that we can throw around? Another computer monitor. Does this one overwrite the tile it's on? No, it doesn't. At the same time, it doesn't really go. Yeah, I don't really know where I would put that yet. It doesn't look that good. Really? This is a double? Could have that. Do I have just a stool I can place? Yeah. Place that there. Actually, you know what? The stools might go better than that pipe. I actually think I do like the stools better. As much as I liked that pipe, dang it. This will have to do. We've got the exposed wires. Might use that as a story device. Still not sure yet. If this plate was rotated at all, I would place it for sure, and it would look like somebody slid it off. But because it's just flat like that, and it kind of matches the tile, it doesn't look right. If it was skewed a little bit to the side, yeah, it wouldn't look like a floor tile then. But because it's just perfectly square with the floor, it looks like a floor tile, kind of. And I don't want any confusion, really. Let's see, we've got additional switches here. I think we'll place a switch right there. Why not? There's some shelves, or a safe. If I can figure out what I'm doing, we might also have that switch actually do something. What else do we have? Any other items? I don't really need any art in here. This isn't a place to lounge and relax at. Could have a vending machine. No, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. How does this look? It's actually kind of decent. But no, I don't think so. It doesn't go good enough. There's just something a little bit off about it. Now, one thing I do want to add to the walls here, again, to kind of break up the monotony of them. Let's see, where is it? Some of this mildew and slime here, this colony has been moving through space for quite some time. Most of the inhabitants have actually, they've been sleeping in cryo sleep. So there's little leakages and things like this going on. It's been a while since there's been somebody around to scrape up mildew and things like that. I think that will actually be fine. And let's see, what's this? Little hazard panel in front of there? I don't know if that looks good enough, though. That doesn't. That's for sure. Huh. What about this? No. I think I'll leave this for now, but I might override those at some point with another type of tile, or remove them completely. But I do kind of like the idea of having something in front of the lockers there. I don't know why. Let's see, there we can have maybe some type of computer screen. No, we don't really need it. It's getting a little bit carried away now. What else do we have? I know I'm flipping back and forth through here a lot, but as I check and use other items, it might help me think of something I can use the other things for. Placing one item and not liking it will make it easier for me to go back, I guess. So we could add a shadow to the lockers here. Kind of make them pop out a little bit more. Oh yeah, and one thing that I was not liking about this room is the shadows on the seams here. I want shadows on the seams, like that. There we go. That kind of makes that corner look a little bit more shaded now. If that wasn't square, it would work. But I guess that'll have to do for now. The doorway down there should have a little bit of shadow. I think that'll be... Actually, hang on. We'll do that, and then that. I actually don't like how rough that edge is. That's better. Now that looks like a doorway. That lets the player know, hey, you can go through here. So here we are. Let's see, events. Let's go ahead and place the player. This isn't where he's going to be starting. I'd like to get him to start, say, right here. And, let's see, I'm trying to think here. I may save setting this up for the next video. In the next video, I'll get around to events, and we'll start setting up the opening sequence for whenever the player wakes up, because the player is going to be woken up from his cryopod by two people. They're going to come into the room because they're scouting for survivors. They're scouting for people that they can wake up from the cryopod, and the player is one of the survivors that they find. One of the things that I'm doing in the story, obviously the space colony is having some serious issues. Power has been cut to various parts of the station. The cryopods, some of them have no power at all. Some of them are running on backup battery power. If a room has its power cut, the AI on the colony automatically cuts power to all of the cryopods in the room except one, which it hooks up to the battery backup. Because if it doesn't do that, then everybody dies. The AI has to make some drastic decisions, of course. But that's kind of the reasoning behind that. The player will start here, and the cutscene that it will be setting up to open the story will have two people coming in through the doorway here and checking the cryopods. Actually, we should probably have the player start in the last one. That way we can have the people come in, they can check this pod, this pod, this pod, and then boom. A little bit of kind of drawing it out, I guess, and then, yeah, they'll say, hey, there's life in this one's not dead. In fact, we could, let's see, we can even make that a little bit more appealing visual-wise by putting these kind of lifeless cryopods right here. All of the other ones are obviously dead. They've had their power cut, and this is the only one that is still lit up and functioning. So there we go with that. What else do we want to do in this room? Could add a pipe here. There we go. Kind of block off, or kind of break up the... I'm just going to call it monotony. It's repetition is what it is, because all of these are the same, and then you've got the same space there, and then you don't want the player, in my opinion, seeing you know, a huge section that looks the same like that. Break it up with a pipe or something. The shelves still kind of look a little bit wonky to me. They look like they might be well, they look like they're a little bit in front of the wall, but they'll have to do. Just gotta make do with the tiles that I've got. I don't have a team here designing tiles for me, dang it. I don't have anybody to yell at and say it doesn't look right. We can do better. We just have to deal with it. Hey, wait, actually these are the smaller parts that I wanted. There we go. That looks a little bit better too. Instead of having the massive piece in front of it, it's just a little bit right there. Can we place it there? No, I don't want to do anything like that. What else can we add around here? We don't need any barrels here. I don't know why they would have barrels of toxic waste, or really anything. We'd have a vent right there. At some point later in the story, we could actually even use this vent as a mode of transportation between various areas. The player could come back here and you know, move around through there, which is another thing I might have. I'm thinking about doing with the story, because some of the rooms, like I've mentioned, the colony's damaged. Some of the rooms are extremely dangerous because they're exposed to space. So instead of the team easily being able to move around between sections on the station, they have to use the air ducts and move between rooms that way. So we'll leave that there. What would a round one look like? Place that there. Try that again. You know, I don't like the round one. I think the square one does go a little bit better. Place that there. We don't need any crates or anything like that. We don't need any pipes. Don't need any more shadows. One of the things I'm also not really good at is making shadows. It comes down to perspective again, and I still don't have a very good grasp on how to set up perspective in the game yet. Doing this is going to force me to have to study several art techniques, it seems like. One is isometric view, which is, I think, kind of what this is. Trying to make it so the room doesn't look just so flat. Like like the village of Grimrage that I set up. This room should already be a vast improvement over that one. I know it looks a lot better anyways than having a single tile wall. So, what else do we have here? I think that might actually be it for what I want to place in this room. I didn't get to all of the database tools here. I'll probably be doing that in a future video too. All of these actors here, I'm not... You know what? I think we are going to delete them. We're going to delete all of these actors. None of these people are going to be in the game. We're going to be making all new, brand new characters. In fact, let's make our first one. This is Norin Stoops. Nickname just Norin. I don't have a nickname for him yet. He doesn't have a custom class, but he will. I'm not going to delete the classes, because I may actually reuse the classes and just rename them. Like, this can be security, a monk can be the chaplain. One of the things I'm going to be doing, and you're going to be noticing throughout this series, I'm going to be referencing a lot of things that probably come from Space Station 13. Character classes, several attacks, things like that. The Paladin, I don't really know what we would use him for yet. Because actually, you know what, screw it. I'm not going to use any of these. I changed my mind. We'll make completely new ones from scratch. Even though it left all the skills over here, because we're not going to have axes. We may have general armor. So, this can be security. This can be Don't need axe. Special. Looks like they're all pretty much the same now. Good. Don't need an axe, no. Let's see, what should we have? Security, chaplain. This one will be an engineer. This one's a civilian, because the space colony does have a bunch of civilians on it. Obviously, there were a bunch of people coming on the space colony with no real skills other than ensuring that genetic diversity could continue on the new planet. So we'll have civilians. We'll have to find a way to balance them, because the security's going to have special skills, the chaplain and the engineer. I don't know what special skill we could actually have for civilians. Obviously, the engineer can use tools or something. The chaplain might have some type of prayer ability. The security would have combat skills. They could tackle, subdue. Might give them a taser or handcuff ability that would confuse or stun the enemy for a while. We're going to have a janitor. I already know that we're going to have one janitor character. Let's see, who else could we have? Who else do I have in my notes here? What characters have we made? Oh yeah, we do need a medic. Who else do we have? Where are they at? Come here. So, we have, there's the engineer, there's the medic, there is the security guard, there's the janitor, and there's the civilian. So these are the only people I've got figured out so far, and I don't have a chaplain yet. I'm not even going to bother setting up their skills yet, because we also need to go through here, and I'm going to end up deleting all of these skills here. I'm probably going to do that off camera though. Some of the things I'm going to be doing off camera, I know. I'm not going to record everything. I already mentioned that. But, you know, I'll leave attack and guard and double attack and dual attack and triple attack and escape, things like that. But we don't need fire breath or ice breath. We don't have any... Well, maybe we could have like a circus performer or something like that. But we certainly don't need nuclear blasts and lightning elemental attacks and things like that. Whatever these other things are. Most of these will be getting deleted. I'll probably delete all of the skills off camera. Most of these items are going to be deleted. All of these weapons are going to be deleted, because I don't need claws and axes. I mean, we're going to have weapons like crowbars, planks of wood, fire extinguishers. I might add a toolbox, things like that. Guns, stun batons. Those are the type of weapons that we'll be using. Now, I will let you know, there is magic here. Okay, the story is not that type of sci-fi. There is magic. And I'll explain, if you want to know the details behind it, I'll explain that later. But for all intents and purposes, it's magic. No matter which way I try to spin it, BS story-wise, it's still basically magic. All of the armors and clothes here, all of this will be changed, because we don't need bronze plate, iron plate. None of that has any purpose on a space colony. They weren't planning on doing, LARP, so they didn't bring any of that. All of these enemies will be deleted. We don't need them. We'll have our own custom enemies. The troops, all of these will be deleted. The states, I'll probably use a bunch of these. These are things like poison, silence, blind, status ailments, things like that. I'll make a video, again, probably where we actually... Yeah, I'll delete all of these off camera, but whenever I actually create them and make them and set them up, I'll do that on camera. I'll keep you guys here with me for that. The animations. This is going to be a pain in the ass for me, because I'm not sure what I should do with these. I'll probably just leave them for now, because they are animations that are already set up and can be used in combat. Let's see, check your ears, this could be loud. Yeah, see? I don't really want to have to reset these things up, so I might just leave them and then rename them. Otherwise, I would have to set them up frame by frame by frame, and I would rather not, because that would be more work than I need to make for myself. Common events, we don't have any of those yet, and system. The only person we have so far is Norrin Stoops, the main character. Currency unit is space credits, window color, I should make it a little bit purple. We don't need any green. Let's see. Is that more purple? There we go. Starting position in the cryo room. This game probably won't have any vehicles either. Boats, ships, airships. I don't have a whole lot of use for it because they're on a space colony. What are they going to need an airship for? It's not that big. What are we going to need a ship for? What I may end up doing is turning, the boat here, or the ship or something like that, or maybe even the airship. I guess I could turn these into space suits. That way they can move around the colony freely. That's something I'm going to have to think about and even see how I can do. But instead of having a boat, I'll see if I can find a graphic for a space suit. And that'll be how they get around. Now, the main screen theme, I already know what I want this to be. This is going to be Dungeon 2, but really slowed down here. Let's see. You can just ignore the rainy mood if you haven't already. I think it needs to be a little bit quicker. No, wait. That's too much. I think that this will be fine for now. What about this one? Actually, this is the pitch that I like. So yeah, that's our title screen. The battle screen we're not going to worry about, or the battle music. We'll figure that out at some point. The title screen we are going to change here. Let's see, that one no, this one no, this one no, this one. I'll have a custom title screen at some point, I'm sure. But for now, this is the that's going to be the title screen. Game title. This is going to be the Fall of Atlantis. There we go. Okay, that. And you can change the sound effects for everything. I will be probably doing that at some point, making them more sci-fi than they were. The terms, you can change all of these extremely easily. Formation, equipment, I'll probably be customizing those too. Armor types, I don't really know what we'll be doing here. Pretty much everyone is going to be able to wear the same type of armor. I mean, I'll have to decide how it works. One of the toughest things going through this is going to be finding a balance that makes things fun while still allowing the characters to be diverse. So we'll leave that for now. And I do want KO by floor damage and by slip damage. It's going to be quite difficult. If you expose yourself to space, you will die. Your whole party could be wiped out. So there we go. Let's go ahead and actually playtest this for a second. Here, whoops. Yeah, let's check this out. The Fall of Atlantis. Kind of gives a good feeling for the game so far. Obviously, we're on a space colony. The space colony is diverse. It does have life. It does have kind of an ecosystem. And here we are. Unfortunately, because I placed us here, we can't actually move around. I'll have to fix that, remedy that. But there we are. The room's set up, the music's going. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Whoops. Whenever we come back, hang on a second. What did I... I know what I did wrong. It's because I didn't actually make a character. So let's do that. Graphic. For now, I hope that I can find some sci-fi characters to use, but if not, some of these people will have to do. For now, Norin, he can look like... oh, man. Norin, doesn't matter. You can be... all these guys just annoy me. I don't like this art style. Dang it. He can be that guy for now, even though he doesn't look anything like it. And Slaxer's faces, let's get to those. This is the art style for the faces that he's going to be using. I like it. It's still quite expressive. I like the colors on it, and it's not anime. So his default face will be this. There we go. Doesn't really look like him right there, but what can you do? It's chibi graphics. So janitor aboard the Atlantis. That's all the description I'm going to give him for now. We'll give him features and notes and whatever else we need to give him later on. But I want to test this out one more time. Make sure we can still move around. Yep, there we go. So one of the things we'll be doing whenever we come back, again, whenever we come back, I'll probably be trying to set up the event, the opening event, even though it's going to be quite difficult because I still don't have a good grasp on events and setting them up. Yeah, you can see this thing right here, this switch, because it's passable, it makes the wall passable. So I'll have to edit that. Is there anything else? What about this grill? The grill, actually I should probably leave the grill passable. That way if a curious character does step on that, they might go, and know to come back. They might think of it later, is what I'm saying. If it sticks out as weird that they can walk on it, but it doesn't take them anywhere. But that needs to be fixed. Those wires are fine. We can walk behind the cryo tubes. The pipe is sealed off. Okay, and we'll also be making the hallway that this room connects to whenever we come back. So in the next video, a whole bunch of more stuff. Who knows what we'll get to. It's really just whatever I feel like doing. This is going to be a very long process that's going to jump around constantly. So I will see you then. Whenever it may be. It won't be too long. I'll be uploading one of these every few days probably, as I get around to it.